The Modern Woman Tutorials. Build the perfect guy. Whatever, right? Is the idea here is that I was thinking like how a lot of chicks out here be complaining about not finding the right guy, talking about they have standards and whatnot. But the funny thing is, instead of trying to find, right? Because I even give this advice to guys. Instead of trying to find the right female, right? Find the right woman, make her. Right? Instead of complaining out here, especially on the internet, about ladies being plus size. If that's not your type, that's fine. Then only interact with ladies who are your type. But if you can't seem to find ladies your type, let's say some of the ladies you like are plus size, but you prefer them to be of a smaller size. Well, gym exists. You got money. Money can solve problems, especially money problems. So, and most people, on average, most people's weight is because of what they consume, what they eat. So if you're dating a chick, right, and she's plus size and whatnot, and you have, and you're the one who's paying for her to eat and whatnot, it would make sense for you to, pay only for healthy foods, right? Make sure she eats healthy, right? Teach her to eat healthy. Some people just don't know how to eat better. Especially, here's the thing: if you, the type of guy who, well, let me get back to you ladies. If you know about eating healthy and cooking and this, that, and third, these are things you can teach to other people. Most people don't think that mindset of teaching. They expect everybody else to know. Like, oh, you should have learned that in life. You should have figured that out. You should know what a woman wants. Blah 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 blah. It's like, as much as a lot of ladies out here talking about how different they are and how every woman is different and whatnot, trying to tell a guy that he should know is like, if every woman is different, he's not going to know, because unless he's been with every woman, he's not going to know the different things he has to do for each different woman, right? So then that has to go back to reality. Reality is, on average, most chicks are the same. Most females are the same. So since y'all the same treatment for each of y'all applies, right? The same rule applies. So it makes sense that if a guy who has experience with the ladies would know how to deal with any lady he interacts with, because you're all 90% the same. It's rare for y'all to be different and unique. So if you want a guy to be, a certain way, certain behavior, like you want princess treatment, but you want the guy to look good. And that's the main thing, looking good. Because a lot of ladies, I know, is try to argue the idea, like, I gotta find him attractive. It's like, I know for a fact that if you had to choose between a good-looking guy who's broke and an ugly guy who's rich, you always choose the ugly rich guy. So let's not go with the guy has to look good or you have to be attracted to him, because that's not how y'all choose. Y'all don't choose logically or with your eyes. Y'all choose with your feelings. And a rich guy feels a whole lot better than a poor guy, right? A broke guy. So the fact that some of you ladies even refer to a guy who has a job as broke because he's not a millionaire, or at least a six-figure earner, that right there lets me know that it ain't about logic. It's literally about feelings. If a guy who has a regular job, he feels broke. Not that he actually is broke, he feels broke. See the difference? A guy who's a millionaire, he feels, like he's not broke. He feels better, right? Anyway, so back, like I said, it's about feelings. So the thing is, if you truly, truly believe that a guy's appearance, is a important factor for you to deal with him, and the reason you don't deal with a lot of these good guys, a lot of these guys who have great personalities, a lot of these guys you would have happy, long-lasting relationships with, is their appearance, then give them effing advice. It's not rocket science. A lot of y'all have this weird idea in your mind that you have no influence on who you interact with. You think there's like, oh, everybody's different, everybody's individual, I can't tell somebody what to do, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's wrong. That's not how it works. Because it was funny, you go to work, Your boss tells you what to do and you do it. Your boss tells you how to dress, you dress the way your boss says, and the list goes on. You get paid how much your boss says you get paid. You don't get to make those decisions. Your boss does. So, and the same goes for your parents making decisions, and you have to follow the rules because you live in the house, and the list goes on. Just like you got to follow the rules of your landlord. Most of y'all don't have your own house. Most of y'all rent. So you're already following somebody else's rules and stuff. So it's just funny to believe that people can't tell other people what to do. It's like, that's not how that works. It's the opposite. You can tell people what to do. Just like you can tell people your boundaries. You can tell people no, right? No means no and that kind of stuff. You can tell them yes, right? You can consent or not consent. The list goes on. So there's so many things you can tell people. The thing is, don't be an asshole, of course. But you can tell somebody something, especially if it benefits them, especially if it benefits y'all, right? If the guy likes you and you like his personality at least, then it wouldn't be a problem for you to ask him to improve his appearance and give him some suggestions. It's just logical. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I do with the ladies I interact with. I tend to make suggestions, and they tend to adhere to it. Sometimes there'll be the rare occasion where a chick doesn't agree at first. Gotta be very specific, at first. But eventually she does it anyway. That reminds me of one of my exes where, she likes it. She knows I like red hair. And the funny thing is, she's had, when I first met her and stuff like that, we met online and whatnot, she had blue hair. That was interesting, made her different. She had blue hair. So she has no problem coloring her hair an unnatural color, right? But for some reason, when I pointed out the fact that I like red hair, she tried to make that a problem. Try to make it into something, that I'm not allowed to have, so to speak. Let me put it that way. And it's like, obviously that was one of the many red flags, right? Noticing, making a pattern of, after a while, she deliberately started to say no to a lot of things. I'm like, this is not normal. Well, for me anyway, because normally when I'm in relationships, right, or normal relationships, even with just regular friendships, when we make suggestions to one another, we tend to accommodate. That tends to be normal. So the opposite of that, of refusing to do certain things, saying no to wearing a certain outfit, or even talking a certain type of way. Like, let's say I'm like, yeah, you curse a lot. I would like it if you curse less, because it's not cute. As an example, there was one chick that I said that to. But anyway, so let's say that as the example. I want her to stop cursing, or maybe smoking, or doing some other thing, drinking alcohol because she gets crazy or something. Just making some suggestions for her to improve. And mostly, I get positive results out of it, and they benefit from it. That's the thing. I always make people better that I interact with, and that's the point. The idea is to make the person better. It's not you're saying anything wrong if you want somebody to improve. You want somebody to be better. Just make sure that is what you want, because sometimes I see this online. Some people arguing that, oh, she wants me to be nicer or to do more of something, but then the chick has a problem with it and complains, and it's like, oh my god, like, she told me to be nicer, so I was nicer. Then she broke up with me because I was too nice. It's like, what? That don't make no sense. That kind of nonsense. So, is the whole be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. The thing is, if you're asking for something, it should be because you truly want it. It's something you truly need. It shouldn't just be something you feel you need, or you see other chicks have it, so you want it. And I see that a lot. Chicks always wanting what other people have. They have a good relationship. As soon as they see some other chick, some other lady getting a certain type of treatment, suddenly she wants it. But that's only because she saw somebody else have it. But in reality, she didn't need it. It's not part of the relationship. It's not why she fell in love with the guy she's with. You fell in love with the guy because he doesn't do those things, right? You liked that at that one moment that you saw some guy simping and being over romantic, right, for a chick. So then you just felt some type of way and you wanted it. But in reality, that's not what you really want. And that's why it becomes a problem. But anyway, to each their own. The thing is make sure if you want something, one, ask for it. Two, actually make sure you actually want it and it's not just a random thing. Like, make sure you want it. Like, once you get it, it matters. Because sometimes people will do that. Like, they'll be like, oh, I want that car. And once they get the car, they barely drive it. You know, it was more the wanting. It's more, because that happens a lot. I see that with a lot of people. A couple of times I've done that. Where like, I was like, oh, I want that. And then once I got it, it's like, the feeling of this item's importance is less than it was before. So then I end up having stuff that's like, I don't really need this that much, right? It's just that, I was convinced. That's why it's important to know the difference between something you need and something you want. So if you need somebody to be attractive, and you need to be attractive to the person, then make sure you put in the effort to make sure you get that they are attractive. And attractiveness comes in many different ways. The way he acts, the way he talks, the way he smells, right? Little things like that. And that's the thing, because I see this a lot online, like ladies, giving each other advice or asking, like y'all literally asking another chick, like, oh my God, what's your makeup routine? Can you make a tutorial? Can you teach me how to look like you? It's like, why, when you should look like yourself and at least improve yourself to be the best version of yourself? You should try to look different, not like everyone else, but that's for a different conversation. But you have no problem wanting some advice, or even giving advice on like how somebody should do something when it comes to each other mostly. But when it comes to like a guy, y'all want things to be pre-built, basically. You want a guy to be perfect right off the bat instead of making a guy perfect. The irony is, a lot of you ladies pick guys hoping that they're the right guy. And usually y'all pick based off of some superficial stuff. Here's the thing that tends to happen when a female is young and she gets her first love. You actually love the boy, right? You love the guy for who he is. After that relationship doesn't last, the next relationship will be judged based off that first relationship, right? And you'll take all the good things from that first relationship and use that as red flags. So you use that as reasons that the new relationship isn't that good. Because once you start seeing that the new guy is a lot like the last guy, or there's things that the new guy is doing that reminds you of the last guy, suddenly you start seeing that as a negative. Suddenly you start having negative feelings because you remember how you felt about the other relationship, especially if the relationship ended very, very badly. We got heartbroken. So then now that negativity from that relationship is now dragging over to the next one. And that keeps happening over and over again. Ladies start taking the qualities that were good, like good personality, good humor, right? Maybe even good looks sometimes. But sometimes it's not, because usually when you choose a guy, especially if he's the first guy you start liking, tends to not be about looks. It tends to be about personality and how he makes you feel. But then after that, you try to make it superficial. So then you start trying to act like a guy and try to make decisions based off of what you see. So then that fails, because what y'all really, really want, what y'all really, really need, I should say, not want, but need, is more internal, less external. So for guys, all we really want the most is external, because we can deal with internal. I know there's a lot of guys nowadays can't handle ladies' internal, personalities and whatnot, their feelings and whatnot. I'm trying my best to get them to level up, man up, and learn that that's normal. But whereas, like, be honest, your physicality is number one. Your personality is secondary. Not saying the personality doesn't matter. It's just that it's secondary. The first thing we notice about you is your looks. Secondarily will be your personality. Your personality is what keeps us. Your looks is what gets us interested. It's what, because we don't fuck you for your personality. We fuck you for your looks. So for us, sex is not love. We love you for your personality. That's where the love will come from who you are as a person. If we fuck you, it's only because of your looks. It ain't. That's nothing to do with your personality or us loving you. So something very important that ladies nowadays got to learn, because this has been a thing for thousands of years. This is nothing new. That guys don't have sex out of love. It's only out of horniness. It's only because we have the urge. Once the urge goes away, we want to be left alone. We want to go do things. It's look it up on Google, post-nut clarity. Like, that's an actual thing. We act like we're in love. We feel like we're in love when we're horny. But once we are done having that feeling, then reality kicks in, and it's like, all right, well, I really don't like her like that. That's the thing. We don't have to like you to fuck you. Keep that in mind. That's a general rule that applies to every guy, good boy or bad boy. We're all the same. We do not love with our penis. We love with our hearts, with our mind. So keep that in mind. So that's why it's like, when you pick a guy, it definitely should be personality based, more than appearance, more than how much money he makes, more than how popular he is with the other ladies or in general, because those are superficial. Think about it. Assholes will be popular. Assholes will have money. Assholes will be good looking. So that's why it's important to choose personality first, and then work on the appearance, then work on the finances, then work on the clout or the popularity, right? Or social standings, whatever you want to call it, right? That's the thing. You can build a good man. Because that's the thing. Women always made men better, right? Because here's the thing. A man makes a wife makes a man, right? Or makes a man better. Because you inspire him to be better. The things he'll do will be because of you. Society exists because of the female race, because of our love for y'all, our interest in y'all, us wanting y'all to be safe and happy. So we created a society for that, right? Because the way things used to be, yeah, you would be tossed around. You'd be community property. Y'all living better now than y'all would in the past, because in the past, when there was no, one woman per man type situation, or society where there's rules and stuff, it was far worse for you ladies. Not you ladies, because y'all don't live in that time, but for the ladies that lived in that time, yeah, it was far worse. Guys will literally be fighting over you. But the thing is that might sound nice, guys fighting for you, but it was little fights to the death and stuff like that. And then it'd be like, all right, these two dudes are gonna take you. Yeah, take you. Not marry you, wife you up, girlfriend you. No, take you. And it would be like that. Yeah, very primitive. You don't want that lifestyle, the primitive lifestyle. Gotta appreciate society. Gotta appreciate that we're the ones that created the rules where guys shouldn't be out here having sex with a whole bunch of women, even though that's how it used to be. There was no monogamy. There was no marriage. Shit, there was no rules. There was no laws. If a guy really liked you and you're his girlfriend, right? But then suddenly finds out that some other guy he would smash your skull in. He would hurt you, not the dude. He would hurt you, and then get some other chick. And that's how breakups used to be way back in the day, way back before society was a thing. It was that crazy. Of course, they started becoming more civilized. Started, agreeing to the idea that every guy gets one woman instead of trying to have multiple women, one woman, right? Sometimes it concerns me that people don't know the history of society. how better things are now than it was before. Is it perfect? Of course not. But it could always be better. But anyway, I'm getting off a little bit off topic. It's more of a history lesson. But the thing is that if you want a better looking guy, make him better looking. You're out here watching tutorials, makeup tutorials and stuff like that, outfit hauls and all this stuff. It's like, that's cool and all, but it's like, why are you ladies ain't out here giving advice on how guys can look better? Right? Y'all love to talk about how a guy should act, but never talk about how a guy should look. All y'all say, he has to be good looking. That's the only thing I ever see. It's like, he gotta be good looking, I gotta find him attractive. It's like, that doesn't mean anything, right? Just saying he has to be good looking. What does that mean? Because beauty is subjective. So what is y'all standard? Plus, that's the other thing. Ladies out here will complain about there's a beauty standard on them, but they have a beauty standard for guys. They just don't advertise it. They don't put it out there like, hey, this is what we expect the guy to look like. This is what we expect the guy, to act like, and so forth and so forth, right? Build the whole package. The thing is, y'all have standards. Y'all just keep the standards to yourselves. Y'all don't put it out there that these are my standards. Granted, to a certain degree, if you were to put out your standards out there, there'll be some guys that would disagree with the standard. But fine, that's a good thing, because that means they don't meet the standards. Therefore, it don't apply. So you already weeded them out. That's the point of a standard, which is annoying that a lot of ladies don't follow their own standard. The point of a standard is to weed out the guys that don't meet the standard, the guys that don't even want to try to meet the standards. Because ironically, it's normally common for guys to try to change for the chick they want. But that's life, right? Just saying, if you want a good quality dude, first and foremost, pick a dude who has good qualities internally. Then worry about the outside, because the way he looks can always be fixed. Just saying. And the thing is, you definitely want to do this at a young age, because what happens a lot is y'all wait until y'all in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, and then be like, okay, I'm going to stop putting looks, attractiveness, height, even money. I'm going to stop putting that on a pedestal. I'm going to stop putting that at the top of my list of things a guy needs to have in order for me to date. And then y'all start making it about personality, but it's like, you waited too long. Y'all old as fuck now. Not saying you can't be attractive, not saying that older women can't get a man and whatnot. Just pointing out the fact that it's like, you waited too long to make that realization, to realize that you should be picking based off of personality, not based off of materialistic and superficial things. It should be the things that matter, not the things that don't matter, right? Because if anything, you're looking for a guy who is right for you, right? Who has the qualities you're looking for. So look for those qualities first, then work on everything else. Because y'all ladies love to, like I said, love to dress yourselves up, right? Like to improve yourselves, like y'all like to say. Improve your house, right? Y'all like to decorate stuff. That's normal. That's shit women have been doing for years. Like, I'm used to that. So that's why it's like I say, women make men better. If a guy, barely wears deodorant, even though he should, but let's say he doesn't, well, you can suggest it. Especially if he wants to get laid, he'll start wearing deodorant more often. As a small example of how much influence you ladies have over guys. You want guys to be better, gotta give them a reason to be better. Shit, I be seeing in comments, guys complaining that y'all ladies ain't worth it. That the booty ain't worth it no more, and the list goes on and on. It's like, oh, y'all ladies are failing. There's a lot of quality dudes out here that are just starting to not be interested in y'all anymore, because you're not giving them a reason to be interested. Y'all starting to look the same, start to act the same, and it's the opposite of what they want. Just letting you know. You want what you want? Fine. Ask for it. But understand, you gotta give the guys you want what they want.